Because the fire apparatus of the 1800s was larger and more complicated than the wooden pumpers of earlier eras, individuals had to be trained on their operation and upkeep. It was commonplace to see firefighters working all together to pull a pumper to a fire scene to get there in time, encouraging each other every step of the way during this exercise of physical exertion. Once at the scene, ladder companies would work at rescuing victims, while other firemen would pump the hand pumpers, and the foreman shouted out his orders. These were the days when the bond and brotherhood of the fire service was forged. At the fire scene, great crowds would gather to watch their firemen, expecting to see feats of strength and acts of heroism. The crowds thrilled at the competition that existed between the fire departments that were present, and even expected to see some fisticuffs between the competing companies. Local spectators would cheer on their favorite departments. Sometimes, the intensity of the competition would get out of hand, and a fight would break out. If this all sounds somewhat familiar, it's because these actions mimic many of the familiar elements of today's organized sports. With our access today to instant information, it might be hard to imagine what life was like before radio, television, or the internet. During the 1800s, often the best way to get information about an event was to go to the scene and watch it unfold in person. Like it or not, catastrophic events were considered entertainment and drew large crowds. When not fighting fires, firemen of the 1800s were in the public eye. They marched in parades, which were held to celebrate national holidays, public events, or even the arrival of a new piece of apparatus. Stories, songs, and plays celebrated their exploits, as did popular illustrations, such as those by Currier and Ives, bringing further praise and notoriety to firemen. This was the romantic age of firefighting, when the general public considered a fireman much like our sports heroes of today. With their red bib shirt, brown trousers, and helmet, the firemen of the 1800s created a very pleasing image. Men of the day were envious of firefighters, young boys wanted to grow up to be a firefighter, and women had secret crushes on their favorite firefighters. Firefighters were certainly the heroes of the 19th century.